Hey guys, technical difficulty again. I do apologize. What up, Shan? How's it going, my love? Oi, oi. Or is it oi, oi? I'm just kidding, I don't know. Hey, Purple. What it do? So today, without wasting any time, I want to, I'm going to try to play, not my last video, but the video before that. Hey, Collins. Because there's some people that haven't seen it, and if you've seen it already, I apologize, but it doesn't hurt to watch it again. Hey, Heart of a Lion, how are you? That's a cute name. I like that name. Hey, Alice. Now I just have to remember to not talk into my phone and speak towards my computer because StreamYard is on my computer and I'm looking at the chat on my phone. Hey, Spineska. Hello, Kara. Welcome. No thanks, Lion. Appreciate that. That's good because I don't feel like I make sense half the time. So hearing you say that is refreshing. It's refreshing for the both of us. Okay. So again, I'm going to try to play this video of mine. If it doesn't play, then I guess we will forget about it. You're not going to say anything, Shan? No, please do. This is a channel where you can speak freely and voice your opinion. So I don't want you to come on my channel and feel like you can't voice your opinions. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so I want you to feel comfortable on my channel, Shan. I don't want you to feel like you have to hold anything back. Actually, I lied. Do hold stuff back. I'm just kidding. Oh yeah, that's nothing new, Shan. I know. Okay, so well, first I'm curious. Well, I guess there's only 15 people in here, but put a 1 in the room if you've seen the video. Um, not my last video, but the video about the Hegelian dialectic and Twin Peaks #2, aka KK. Jan, there were a few people in High Impact Flicks, Brian's live stream today, and they were all spelling it that way. Well, that's okay, Leona. It was a train wreck anyway, so um, you didn't miss much, to say the least. What else can we get them to say? I'd say pretty much anything. Okay, let's go ahead and try playing this video. I don't know why it's so slow right now. Revelation and the Reckoning is causing quite a bit of commotion on social media recently. The channel creator claims they are a close friend of Chris and the Watts family. It is unclear what the channel creator is trying to accomplish, and it's possible there could be an agenda behind all of it. Let's take a closer look at the channel name and what it might mean. What is Revelation? Okay, I swear I'm hacked. Let's try this again. And yes, hi Miss Mensa. She did put that video out, by the way. Just wanted to let you know that before I played this again. The book of Revelation, also called the Apocalypse of John, Revelation to John, or Revelation from Jesus Christ, is the final book of the New Testament and consequently is also the final book of the Christian Bible.
Its title is derived from the first word of the Koine Greek text apocalypsis, meaning unveiling or revelation. The book of Revelation is the only apocalyptic book in the New Testament canon. Revelation 1 is the first chapter of the book of Revelation, or the Apocalypse of John, in the New Testament of the Christian Bible. So I want you to take a look at the picture on the right. You'll see Revelation 1:13:2-1. This is a picture frame that Shanann and Chris had hanging on their wall in their home of important dates. Shanann and Chris got married on 11/3/12. If you take a look at the Revelation, it says 11/3, but if you switch the 1 and the 2 at the end, you'll get 11/3/12. Apocalypse is the 8th season of the FX anthology American Horror Story. It takes place after a nuclear apocalypse. Hidden away in their secure outposts, only the chosen elite were able to survive the devastation. However, their order is thrown into chaos with a battle between good and evil. As mentioned before, the apocalypse teaser that appeared on Neighbor Nate's television was no coincidence. Not only did it practically mirror the Watts narrative, but the other teasers also gave hints to a future event.
If I make any contribution to this, then one of the things that I'm most proud of is to have come up with the phrase problem, reaction, solution to describe the most used and the most powerful method of mass, mind, and emotional manipulation that has been used on us to advance this agenda. It used to be called the Hegelian Dialectic. What it means is that you want to change society in a way that if you did it openly and had a meeting and said, right, well, tell the public this is what we're going to do, you know that you would get a massive public reaction against what you want. So you don't do it openly. You play this technique. Stage one, you create a problem. It could be a terrorist attack, it could be a war, it could be a government collapse, it could be a run on a currency, it could be a credit crunch, rising food prices, rising mortgages. Anything that will give you the opportunity to install the solution to that problem that will advance your agenda. Once you've covertly created the problem, you then tell the people through a pathetic mainstream media the version of that problem that you want the public to believe. The problem is created. The cover story of the problem is then reported to the people as official history, uninvestigated. And what they're looking for at stage two is a reaction from the public that says, in effect, something must be done. What are they going to do about it? Fear, outrage, do something. And then those who covertly created the problem got the public reaction, do something, then openly, through changes in legislation, offer the solutions to the problems they have themselves covertly created. And what are those solutions? They are changes in society to advance the Orwellian Big Brother state and the centrally controlled global agenda.
Let's take a look at why the person behind the Chris Watts channel is relevant to Hegel's Hegelian dialectic theory. Walter Kaufmann is a philosopher, translator, and poet, and was influenced by Hegel's work. In 1965, he wrote a book on Hegel and also published a translation of one of his books. Kaufmann was also influenced by the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. Just like Kaufmann, Nietzsche was also influenced by Hegel's work. If you'll notice, Hegel and Nietzsche share the same name, Friedrich. Friedrich is the German form of the English name Frederick. Chris and Shanann Watts both lived in Frederick, Colorado. In a previous video, I showed you how certain names are meaningful and sacred to the ones in control of the narrative.
Okay, so now that you guys have watched that, what do you guys all think? Hey, weirdo. Okay, so let me go back here. Try to. So when I say everything in this case means something, I mean I don't mean everything, but for the most part, for example, like the um, the internet search history that they put in the discovery, or um, or Chris googling the volcanoes and the oxy, um, that those kind of things all mean something. They um, use codes in these events, and they um, use symbolism and numerology, which is what you're going to find in these events in the future. So that's something you're going to want to look out for. And sometimes they will be obvious and right in your face, and sometimes they won't. You might have to do a little searching, but um, they're just into their symbolism and their numerology and their coding. So, um, as far as I know, they're still doing it, and they're going to keep doing it. That being said, when I saw that Twin Peaks #2, um, I call her that bit. I don't know if everybody knows who Twin Peaks #2 is. So KK, I'll just say KK. Um, when I when she had just came out with her channel, I immediately had one of those feelings where, why is her channel name Revelation and the Reckoning? It just seems like a really, I don't know, to me, an odd name for a channel. Um, but knowing that they use these codes all the time and they all mean something or symbolic, I did a little research because I don't know hardly anything about the Book of Revelations. So I something I definitely had to research. Let me get to the screenshot here. So you guys know how Chris has been, or they've been making it a point to say that Chris has found God in prison, and that and he's so good at memorizing the Bible, and he's always saying these, repeating these scriptures or writing down these scriptures, and um, in all his letters that he writes, and also I think he wrote quite a few of them down in Cato's book, or the letters to Cato. So what are the odds that this woman who comes out of nowhere 2 years later and claims to know, um, the Watts family, is writing Chris, and not saying that that's not true, but you just have to think of the timing. Why now? What what is her agenda? What is her, what is she gaining out of this? So and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the chat, but is the Book of Revelations what Chris has been reciting in his letters and stuff? Is that the correct Bible? Hey, Dave. Okay, so hi, Martine. Martine says Revelations. Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I know the Bible thing is okay. When I say, like, I know that a lot of this stuff that I'm saying, like, Lee is a common name, like a middle name, and someone in a chat the other night was saying, well, that's just silly because Lee is the most common middle name, um, in America or whatever. And yes, I get that it is a common middle name, but when you have so many of the same names um, in one area, and then you have Nico Lee that makes Nicole when you join them together, and then you have all the other Nicoles, and then all the people in the case with Lee. Like, not everybody has the middle name Lee. Yes, is it common? But in my opinion, they pick stuff like that is common so that it's not as obvious, or people will say exactly what someone said to me in the chat the other day. Well, it's common, so it's really not that out of the ordinary. But if you know how these people operate, and you know how they use codes, and you know that they are they like certain names, or what's the word I'm looking for? Not worship, but they like their names. Okay, so unless if you're not in the know, if you're not a part of it, it might not seem weird to you. But if you are in the know, you're gonna know what the powers that be are talking about. And not only that, but then when you dive into research of what the actual name means, that's when it starts to become less coincidental. So hopefully that makes sense. um, and I go into all that in the my name video that I did. So okay, so back to the Book of Revelations thing. Um, oh, and that's what I was going to say, Miss Mensa. I'm sorry. So the fact that, yeah, do a lot of prisoners, do the whole, found God thing in prison? Yes. But what I'm getting at is that what are the odds that this woman that comes out of nowhere, and I know we know now that she's been around for a while, but when I made this video, I didn't know that she was in Facebook groups and, here since the beginning. So I'm just going based off of like my video. Um, so again, what are the odds that this woman that comes out of nowhere claims to, uh, know the family, and spewing out all this information about how, Shanann killed the kids or whatever. I don't know if she's ever actually came out and said that, but I think we can kind of get the gist of what she's saying. What are the odds that she's going to name her channel based off of the Book of Revelations and the Reckoning, and the only Bible that here. Okay, see, it says the book of Revelation, also called the Apocalypse of John. Remember that? Revelation to John or Revelation from Jesus Christ. Its title is derived from the first word of the Koine Greek text, apocalyptis. Okay, so what are the odds that the book of Revelations references the apocalypse, and it's the only one that references the apocalypse? Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, what's the big deal? So maybe she likes the book too. The big deal is that we have all the connections to American Horror Story and the PP phrase, um, and we have the apocalypse trailer that shows up on Nate's TV that practically mirrors the Watts narrative. So this is what I'm talking about, where everything means something, and it's just one after the other after the other. So what are the odds that there's apocalypse? Apocalypse in the Book of Revelations, and then also all the I can't say it the connections in American Horror Story and the uh, what was I going to say? Now I'm just losing my train of thought here. Um, I don't remember. But anyways, with all the connections in American Horror Story, all of these American Horror Story connections are also showing up as like the case progresses. Even though the case is like over, I still keep finding them. Like the 1984 thing. 1984 is a season in American Horror Story. You have, and I've mentioned this several times. You have the case that Tammy Lee asked Chris about the murders that happened in Aurora, where the guy killed a family with a ball peen hammer, and how that same guy, before he killed that family, murdered a woman, on the same day that Shanann was born, January 1st, 1984. So do you see where I'm going with this? Like everything's connected. Everything all means something. It's all code. So when you delve a little deeper, and all these same, apocalypse keeps popping up, like you got to go, okay, that's weird. Why is there the trailer on HTV? Why is there all the connections in American Horror Story in every single season? Why do we have this whole 1984 Orwellian thing going on with the virus and everything? Okay, so again, what are the odds that she's going to come out of nowhere and name her channel after the book of Revelations that Chris just so happens to be reciting scriptures from? And not only that, but they make it a point to let us know that he's really good at reciting the Bible. He's memorized the whole Bible, and I don't know how many times she's mentioned it. It's like, oh, he's so good. He can just memorize all the scriptures, and it's amazing. He's got a photographic memory or whatever they've been trying to make us believe. So, and then when you, research a little bit more, and a lot of this stuff is like maybe 1-2 searches. That's it. And I find these. Like it's not. I don't have to like research that deep to find them. And again, you have to remember how they like their numbers. They like their anagrams. They like their symbolism and their codes. That's what they're all about. Besides, fooling millions of people and lying to people. That's what they enjoy doing. And now, so again, when certain numbers keep coming up, like you have 113 that keeps coming up. Oh, and I should have had this ready and I didn't. I didn't even think about it. I might be able to find it. Okay. Okay, so something interesting about this, and I brought this up in a previous live, but the discovery files that Dr. B and her sister got when they went to Colorado from Weld County, I don't ever remember seeing this specific picture, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I don't remember seeing this. I mean, I know what this picture is, but I don't remember seeing it in the actual discovery files. Does anybody remember seeing it? The picture frame, the picture of the picture frame with the important dates on it. I'll wait because this is kind of important. The chat's still delayed on my phone, so I'm just gonna just keep going. You saw, yeah, but Purple, have you seen it in the actual? Was it this specific picture by itself in the actual discovery when it was released? So here, let me go back. Okay, yeah, so this picture by itself, was it released like that? And the chat's still delayed. Okay, then. That's really frustrating. Either that or no one's answering me. So, okay, so we'll just move on. I personally do not remember seeing this picture in the discovery that was released. I did see it on Shanann's Pinterest account or profile, whatever it is, but not in the actual discovery that was released. Another thing that's interesting, and I'll have to go back and look at that picture from her Pinterest, but I don't remember their wedding date being bolded like this or in bold. But again, I'd have to look. So anyway, my point is, if this picture wasn't released in the discovery, why was it in with the documents that Dr. B and her sister got from Weld County? And why wasn't it? Why is it in there now when they went and got them and paid for them, but it wasn't in the discovery? Like, do you see what I'm saying? So to me, that again means something. Like they want us to see this. And why is it in bold? It's stuff like that's you have to like look out for. You thought they got married in December? um, so when I start seeing these consistent numbers popping up, these 11-3, and then you have KK's channel, Book of Revelations, and then straight from the Book of Revelations, you have the scripture 11-3, and and they do. And I know you guys think it might be stretching, but when you flip the 1 and the 2 around, it makes 11-3-12. But they do that. They flip numbers. They flip it in reverse. It Shan. That's what they do again, and they like their anagrams. And even if the 1 and the 2 you don't flip around, now you still have the 11 and 3 numbers popping up. Once again, in the Book of Revelations, that Chris again just so happens to be quoting, and that KK seems to want to name her channel after. So again, what are the odds of that? Hey, Felicia. Something else that's rather interesting that I did not put in my American Horror Story connection videos because I wasn't quite sure about it at the time, but and of course I went to go find it so I could put it in this video, and I couldn't find it, and my Kodi wasn't working, and yada yada yada. But Netflix won't let you screen record, so I just left it out. But in 1984, the season 1984 in American Horror Story, and again, American Horror Story is all connected in this case. And we know that from Nate's video, or popping up on Nate's TV, and then with all the connections. So 1984, there's an episode where um, the camp counselors are, driving to the camp, and they stop at a convenience store to get gas. Well, as they're pulling up, it, pans and it shows the gas station sign. And can you guess how much the gas was in 1984 or so in the show? Okay, I'll tell you. $1.13 a gallon. So why does this number keep continually popping up? And I will tell you, I didn't want to talk about, because a lot of people don't know about this, but I can't remember if it was in 2018. I think it was 2018. A lot of the truther channels and I guess conspiracy theorist channels started noticing that these numbers 11.3 and 311 kept popping up. So, and a lot of them have been able to recognize these patterns and stuff like that. Well, they thought that something was going to happen in Seattle on 311, but come to find out, nothing happened. Nothing came of it. However, that's why that 11.3 on the for the gas price on American Horror Story stood out to me, because these numbers just kept popping up like all the time. And it's not that, sometimes, yes, maybe, people will say, oh, I keep seeing 111 on my phone, or or 222. Like, a lot of the times it is because people are looking for it, and it might just mean nothing. But not when it comes to the people that are orchestrating these events. So look out for numbers that are the same popping up all the time, and in the future. So I moved on from that. I was like, a long time ago, didn't put it in my American Horror Story 1984 video. And then I start seeing 11.3 coming up in the watch case. And I'm like, okay, what the hell is with this 11.3, 311? What's going on? So let me find, just to show you again how not coincidental this is. And I didn't even think about it when I started this live, but where can I find this at? I think it's, I can't play it though. Let me see if it's real quick, if it's in my phone. If not, I'll just tell you guys. Then I can send it to my email. But while I'm looking for it, there's an HLN news clip that came out, right around the time this all happened. And they're talking about Chris taking, the bodies to Survey 319. And of course, it's not in here. And they show, image of Chris's work truck. On the back of the window on Chris's work truck, there is a serial number, or whatever his truck number. And guess what the truck number is? Anybody? Throw it out there. I have so many screenshots. So funny. But I know it's in here somewhere. Okay, yeah, I can't find it. Yep, 113. 1138, I believe, actually. And not only that, in the video, let me see if I can find it. You guys got time, right? Let me see. Is today my birthday? I don't think so. It could be. Depends. Do you have presents? I'm just kidding. My computer. This is when I need Shan. Shan, where's your fast computer? Okay, HON. HON news. What's funny is they actually circle the number and they zoom in on it probably for a good minute. And I couldn't believe it when someone sent that to me, one of my subscribers. It blew my mind. Even though I'm like, every time I find this kind of stuff, it's shocking, but then it's not shocking at the same time. So let's see. This. Just look up the picture here. Where let me see if I can find a number on here. But in the HLN news clip, yeah, they circle it in a big red circle and then zoom in on the number. How do I share another screen? I can only share one screen. That's lame. Lame. why I hate StreamYard. Okay, let me see if I can find it now. So give you guys something to look at. Wait, is this the actual hatch right here? Okay. Oh, no, not that. Next one. Oh, actually, that's a good picture, though, too, to talk about. Look at the back. Look at that leg room right here. There's no way that Shanann is going to fit on the floor in the back of his work truck. I mean, we're talking like inches. Even if you move the seats up, I don't even think they go up that far. It's crazy. Okay, they're not going to show me the back of it, are they? All right, well, next time. But anyways, just believe me, okay? No, I'm just kidding. I will find that HLN clip and I will show you guys next time. So anyway, so these numbers keep popping up, and what they do in these cases is they tell us what they're going to do next, essentially. And without getting too like conspiratorial, and I know people have mixed emotions about this, whole pandemic thing going around, but if you remember, Trump came out on 11/3, or no, 11/3 was election day, and then 3/11 was when Trump came out and gave the actual first lockdown thing, or like did the official lockdown announcement. So can the 11/3 is the 11/3 and the 3/11 P and P for the 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 virus? That's pretty bad when I'm too nervous to even say virus. Okay. So let's go back. So I have to stop the screen and then I have to share a new screen if I want to share it by itself. Okay, that's good. Okay, so back to my video. Miss Mensa, to answer your question, no, I don't. I just can't read your question aloud. I'm sorry. I just can't. Okay. Now, moving on. So then in the video here, I play the whole trailer from. So here's some more of your P and P going on here, guys. Okay. A little bit of P, a little bit of P. What's going on right now for the past few months that everybody's wearing. Okay. Then you have the Madonna PNP video, music video that I showed on my. Actually, I showed it on here. I talked about it on here, but I showed it on D Live as well, with all the dancers wearing gas masks. Here's the trailer that appeared on Nate's TV. More of it, anyways. Okay, so again, here's another one of those what are the odds moments, okay? What are the odds that you have Book of Revelations again with KK's channel name? You have Chris Watts reciting the Book of Revelations and all his letters, and they're making it. They really want us to know that he's reciting them out of this Bible, right? But he's found God. What are the odds that KK's channel name is called the Book of Revelations or Revelation and the Reckoning, and then American Horror Story also has a one of their posters that says Revelation for their season 8. Revelation, Revelation. Not only that, but here's them doing the Masonic hand sign, the Masonic handshake, the Masonic shake. It sounds like a dance. The Masonic handshake. You see where I'm going with this, you guys? Revelation, Revelation, Apocalypse, Apocalypse. Book of Revelations, Revelation and the Reckoning. Like, okay. Okay. Did you get my message about David C's letter to Chris? I don't. Ray, did you put it in the comments on one of my videos or? Oh yeah, that's right. The Ray Rivera person died on Chris Watt's birthday. Yeah, weird how that's mentioned and referenced by Chris too, right? So that's the stuff I'm talking about. Everything meaning something. Okay, so moving on in the video. Now the powers that be, and I talked about this before, but especially with everything going on right now and what I mentioned, I don't know if you guys were watching Cher's live Voices Behind the Wall, but I brought this up on her channel. So sorry about that. The whole thing you have that stuff. What is her agenda? Why is, she just coming out of the woodworks? Why is she just spewing out all this information? And, when everything that's put out in this case, again, you guys, is it means something, or it's to push an agenda, it's to distract, it's multiple reasons. So since I know, and I don't like KK either, that's why I say Twin Peaks #2, but it's kind of long. All this stuff starts to come out like right when the case starts to die down, and it's always this new big breaking story, or this big break in the Watts case, and then it ends up not being anything. But that's because they do that because they want us to keep focused on the case and keep talking about it, even though they tell us that they don't want us talking about it, but they want us talking about it. So we all know that everyone's been really worked up about Twin Peaks #2 and everything she's saying about Shanann, and accusing Shanann of terrible things, and you know just pretty much talking in circles, like saying the same thing over and over again. Doesn't answer relevant questions. Like, I've asked her several times why she named her channel what she did, and I know that she was in the chat because she was typing in the chat because she wasn't on panel. So for me to ask like 3 or 4 times and for her to ignore it is kind of suspicious, in my opinion. Like, it's a simple question: why did you name your channel? I would, if any one of you asked me why I named it, think for yourself, I would tell you. So that in itself is suspicious. And then you have everything that I just showed you with all the connections of American Horror Story, the Book of Revelations, and her channel name. But people are getting all worked up about these accusations that she's making about Shanann. And then not only that, but the other person that's also making accusations, and as well as maybe one other person that's making accusations and saying terrible things about Shanann and the girls. So, but that's what they want. They want to get people upset, pull at heartstrings, because they know what's going to trigger people. They know that mocking, deceased innocent victims is what's going to, get people fired up. Okay? So that's when oops, hold on, sorry. Find my cord, don't die. Okay, we're good. That's when the whole Hegelian dialectic comes in that we just watched in the video. So they use this all the time. It's actually quite brilliant because it works. And in my opinion, that's what they're doing as we speak, as all this drama is going around. So with the Hegelian dialectic, what they do is the powers that be, or the ones in control of the narrative, create a problem, whatever it may be. Like you said in the video, like it could be, a mass shooting, could be a terrorist attack, a financial crash, whatever. Big, small, doesn't matter. But the powers that be create a problem, and then we, the public, react to that problem. We don't think about it. We just, whether it be something horrific, like, again, like murders or whatever, we just react. We don't think. We react and we say, "Oh my God, this is terrible," or we're outraged about something. Please help us. So we turn to the powers that be, asking for them to do something about it. not knowing that they were the ones who actually created the problem in the first place. So in this instance, in my opinion, when, and I talked about this with on Ms. Mentz's channel yesterday, when Frank Rusek stood in front of the Watts house and, told everybody he was, that they were getting, all these text messages or, messages or calls about how people were, bashing Shanann and that Google and Facebook weren't doing anything about it, and just to, stop talking about the case. It just, when I first saw that, I immediately got the feeling that that was their first attempt to go after free speech on social media. Then you have the Rusek's lawyers do that news conference or whatever it's called, and talk about how they are working with the Honor Network. And if you guys aren't familiar with the Honor Network, I'm not really going to go into all that right now, but they're, in a nutshell, they're an organization who works with victims of tragic events, which they go around with 300 to 400 volunteers on social media, and they mass flag channel creators and videos that go against the official narrative or talk of conspiracy theories. Now, they say it's because it's to protect the victims of these tragic events, but I say otherwise. And there's more to the background of all that, but that's essentially what the organization's about. So they came out and say that they're working with that organization, and that if people keep talking about it, it's time to stop talking about the case and, to move on. And the Ruseks would really like it if we would just, not talk about it anymore. And if the people don't stop talking about it, unless it goes with the official narrative, then they might have to bring the law into it, which I found even more interesting. And what that does when, you have Frank Rusek saying, don't talk about the case, and then you have the Rusek's lawyers come out and say, don't talk about the case. You know what that does? All it does is get people to want to talk about the case more. Just like when the Ruseks were going into these advocate channels in the true crime community that follow the Watts case, and, siding with them and, praising them and instigating them. Oh, we're victims, we're the victims, and then go to other channels that these advocate, so-called advocate, victim advocates, you can find them mocking other channel creators and other people who essentially are, we're all victims at some point in our lives. So you don't know what these people are going through. You don't know, if they're suicidal. You just don't know. So for these victims, so-called victim advocates, to actually make videos ridiculing and mocking people about their looks, other channel creators about their looks and the way they speak or whatever, like, is absolutely like mind-blowing to me. Like, I just can't believe they could sit there and say, call themselves victim advocates, and then turn around and immediately mock someone who's done nothing to them. Even if they did, it's like, how can you call yourself a victim's advocate or call yourself a victim and then turn around and then like just mock people and laugh at people? And that's what the Ruseks did. They went to the ones that were supporting them, like the advocate channels, would go to the ones where they were mocking these other channel creators, leave in the comments, ha ha ha, that's so funny. Oh my God, I needed that laugh today. Oh my God, that's so funny. Is that really, like, I just, without getting pissed off, but I'm going to try not to, is that normal behavior from people that are supposed to be victims? If you're a victim, you would think that they would know how it feels, and just but to literally say one thing and then turn around immediately and be the person who you were just saying don't be towards me because we're victims. Like, it just boggles my mind. And there's not even, number one, there's not even any proof that there's been any death threats made to victims. And I can't believe that anybody would actually make death threats to, you know, a victim's family members. And if that's truly happening, like out, outside of social media, then that's terrible. Yes, but as far as I know, I've never seen any death threats or proof of death threats or ridiculing of Shanann and the girls, or bashing them. When you ask questions about someone, if you're going to be in the public eye, if you're going to be a public figure, whether you chose to be one or not, like, that's just what happens. Not everyone's perfect, and people are going to put you under a microscope, and unfortunately. But to sit there and say that Shanann is perfect because she's a victim is ridiculous. Nobody's perfect, victim or not. So we are allowed to ask questions, especially when stuff doesn't add up in the case and there's so many holes, there's so many inconsistencies. And if law enforcement is not going to give us those answers, then we're going to be, normal human beings, and we're going to try to find those answers ourselves. And if that means asking questions about Shanann's parenting or whatever, then so be it. Like, that's not bashing. Asking questions is not bashing or degrading anybody. Are there people out there that do it rudely and not so nice way? Yes, but unfortunately, people are just shitty. But to go after these channels and say you can't talk about the case unless you follow the narrative is bullshit. So until law enforcement wants to give us some answers about why there's so many holes in the case, then we have every right to continue to ask these questions. And then for the Ruseks to sit there and say, we don't want you talking about the case, we don't even want you mentioning our names, well, then I'm sorry, but don't go on Dr. Phil and publicize the deaths of your family, and don't go on, ABC, and don't stream the funeral, for God's sakes, live on Facebook for the whole world to see, and then expect people not to talk about the case. And then do that for months, and then turn around and work with Netflix to put out another documentary to get a ton of more people involved in the case. So of course now it's hot again. Everybody's talking about the case, and you get all these new people. So when again you're continually like hearing them say one thing and doing another, like, stop talking about the case. But you can only talk about the case if you don't talk about conspiracy theories or you go with the official narrative. Why don't they want you talking about conspiracy theories, or only talking about the official narrative, which the mainstream media does and only does? Could it be because there's something up with this case and they don't want us getting to the truth? Because the conspiracy theories are so stupid and so ridiculous, and if we're so dumb, then why not just laugh it off? Why make an actual rule on your platform, YouTube? Yeah, I said it, YouTube. And not once, twice, but 3 times reference a specific theory that you're not allowed to say. And why is the Rusex working with a network, an organization that literally goes around and scrubs conspiracy channels or anybody that questions these traumatic mainstream events, which all have a number of holes and a number of inconsistencies in their narrative? I mean, really, think about it, you guys. Like, why do they want everybody to stop talking about the case, but then they tell people, but then they release the Netflix thing? Because it makes money and it keeps people focused. But, however, they don't want people talking about it if it questions the official narrative. And I got off track there because I was like talking about the whole Hegelian dialectic thing. But that's it for that. So back to the Hegelian dialectic. Everyone is all worked up. There's so much drama between channel creator, a specific channel creator, which I think is all done on purpose, but we won't go there. Most of the people involved in this case, you guys, are going to have an agenda. You know what really like grinds my gears is when people just sit there and let their dogs bark. It drives me crazy. Like, I don't even know how they can deal with it. Like, let your dog in. Like, why are you just gonna let it bark and bark and bark? It drives me nuts. Sorry. Okay, so problem, reaction, solution. So, in my opinion, what is going on right now with all the Shanann bashing and stuff? Attempt number one was Frank Rusek in the front of the Watts house saying, "Don't talk about the case." Attempt number two was the lawyers. Attempt number three was the Ruseks going into social media channels, engaging, becoming moderators, getting people to side with them and cause this division, pro Shanann, anti Shanann, pro Rusek, pro Watts, get people, pissed off, fired up, and, claim that they're being, threatened and that they can't even, go on social media without being bashed and just whatever, like playing the whole victim card. But I think the issue with that is nobody was really doing that. And I think that it didn't work for them. Because I didn't see it. Again, I didn't see any evidence of death threats. So now that attempt number three didn't work, now it's like the final, all or nothing. So let's say they bring in Twin Peaks number two, get everybody fired up, pissed off that how dare she even say such a thing about Shanann, talk bad about her. What if she was brought in to do all this on purpose, you guys? What if it was to stir people up, get people pissed off? That's where this whole Hegelian dialectic comes in. Twin Peaks number two creates the problem, which is victim bashing, and the other channel or the other person doing this, because nobody else was doing it on their own. You see what I'm saying? So they have her come in, start accusing Shanann of doing something harmful to her children, and then, I see you, buddy. What's up? He's looking at me through the window. He's gonna crow any second. because, and I brought this up in Share and on Miss Mensa's live stream, but there was already a few people in Share's chat that were saying, this is absolutely ridiculous. Something needs to be done about this. This is, we can't have this victim bashing, and they can't stick up for themselves. What are we going to do about it? And that's where the whole reaction comes in. Okay. Problem: bashing victims. Reaction: I can't believe this. What are we going to do about it? Okay. So now we're turning to the ones who created the problem in the first place to look for a solution. And do you know what that solution is going to be? It's going to be taking away free speech, and it's also going to stop independent journalists and armchair detectives who question the official narrative or any of these other tragic events. Do you get where I'm going with this? So yesterday on Shares Live, when I said, whoa, okay, maybe we need to look at this from a different perspective. Don't, try to let you, and that's what they do. They don't let your emotions get to you. And I know that it's hard because a lot of people are invested in this case, and the psychological aspect of it has made it very difficult it's going to make it very difficult to make a lot of people see or understand like what I'm saying, because all they know is horrific oil tanks, little girls, innocent, mother, especially if they're mothers themselves. It's going to make it difficult. But if you can push your emotions to the side so that you can see what is really going on right in front of our faces. And the timing of all of it. And how many times have people said, I've never seen any, victims' families act the way the Ruseks have been acting on social media. And engage in social media and not stay off social media and mourn their deaths of their, you can't avoid it. You can if you try. You don't, they are purposely went on to social media, and I don't know if they still are, but actually I think they are, because I just saw Frankie Rusek Jr. on channel. But anyway, they purposely got on social media, seeked out channels, became moderators of those channels. So to me, that's not trying to avoid social media whatsoever. That's instigating shit. So when I see something, like comments like that in Share's live stream in the chat, it scares me because I'm already seeing it unfold, like in front of my eyes. That so soon people are already asking for the solution because their emotions are getting to them and they're so upset. So, like the gentleman, I don't even want to say his name, because he's like, not, yeah. Like he said that, no crap, I forgot. Like, oh crap. What was it? I don't know. It'll come back to me. But I know what it was. So they're not going to come right out and say, the mainstream media or whoever's not going to come out and say, hey, we're going to take away your free speech. Hope you guys are okay with that. Alrighty then. Like, that's not obviously going to work. We're not going to have a good reaction to that. We're going to say, no, you're not, you know. But when they use the Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution, it's not in their face. And again, they create the problem, we react, and then we ask for a solution, which comes in the agenda. In my opinion, I think that they are trying to take away any sort of, uh, you know, independent news outlets on social media. So they just want mainstream media, because we know that the mainstream media is controlled by the powers that be. Because they don't want people waking up. And so if you have like someone like myself and other, truth channels or, conspiracy channels, um, doing what we're doing, they don't like that. So they're going to try and shut us down. And it's going to suck, because it's going to blow up in our faces, because we're going to be the ones that end up doing that to ourselves. And again, like the whole Hegelian dialectic thing is like really brilliant, but they do it all the time. All the time. It's happening all the time. So again, think about it. Like when these channels come out of nowhere, think about it when, um, like if the behavior from the Ruseks sounds odd and weird, it's probably because it is, because it's not normal. So you got to think, why is it happening? Why are they acting like that? And what, is there some sort of agenda? What are they gaining out of it? Are they just trying to get money or whatever? Like that's why you need to ask questions and, look at it from everything from a different perspective, and just unfortunately assume that everybody has some sort of agenda, um, until proven otherwise. Okay, I'm going to scroll up in the chat. I'm not behind in it, but I do want to see if you guys have any questions, since I couldn't pay attention to the chat. And then, you have a specific channel where there's a lot of people that do not like this channel. We've seen it. So you have to ask yourself too, how is it that this channel still, or channel creator still even has a channel, when there's got to be some flagging of videos um, going around on this channel, just because of all the people that dislike him. So how is it that other channels that don't even get that sort of like hate, they're already down? What doesn't matter, like if it's true crime or whatever, it's like, oh, strike 1 2 3. But here, this one channel creator there, he's still rolling out, keeps going, it's going strong. And and Sharon and I joke about it, but really though, could they be like a controlled opposition, which is essentially they put out some factual information, but then they'll throw in a lot of disinformation to distract from the truth, whether it be theory after theory after theory, whatever. And then there's a lot of people that are upset about Twin Peaks #2. and she's still going strong. So again, ask yourself, how is it that they're still up, but other channels will get taken down for something a lot less with no hesitation? And can you imagine? Can you imagine uh, if people actually found out the real truth about this case? How like furious they would be to know that they donated their hard-earned money to uh, these quote-unquote victims. To me, that's a pretty good reason to want to shut people up and to not talk about conspiracy theories or to only stick with the official narrative. Because they wouldn't want that, would they? There would be an uproar for sure. But lucky for them, it's not going to happen because when you have the mainstream media and Netflix and all these, documentaries that just go with the narrative, people will watch those one time and it'll be set in their mind already that that's what happened and that's it. And they'll never think about it again. And that's why they make these cases so horrific, so that people react with their emotions. They don't think, and they just pull at people's heartstrings, and that's it. And that's how they pull them in. Oh, bye, Purple. I know that you probably left a long time ago, but bye. Thank you. Sound like way far up in the chat, so. And yeah, a small corner of YouTube is, Ask Alice said, only a small corner of YouTube is even talking about this case, and that's true. But, I mean, it's still going on 2 years later on this case, and people, again, they keep releasing stuff, so people keep talking about the case, and although a lot of people, like, that are not in the, like, social media or whatever, there are people that have never even heard of the case. But now with the Netflix, but with multiple agendas for these things, like the taking away of free speech on social media for as in regards to um, talking about victims of tragic events, that is small, but if they take away a little bit at a time, eventually there will be nothing left. You see what I'm saying? So maybe it's victim bashing for this case, for the Watts case, but then maybe Another case, it's going to be something else, and then a little bit over time, a little bit, a little bit, and a little bit. And again, what's crazy is that we're going to end up being the ones that are going to be asking to have our rights taken away. That's the crazy part of it, you guys. Like, and like I said, that's what scared me in Cher's chat yesterday, because people were already demanding something be done about what's going on with Twin Peaks #2 and the victim bashing and the drama. Like literally saying something needs to be done about it. What can we do about it? Like, and that's super scary. Because we're already like losing there. I mean, YouTube is already and Facebook are already censoring like crazy. And you can see what it's doing to me, because I literally cannot even mention what my theory is, because as you guys saw in my last live with Shan, I cannot like literally say what my theory is. It's only a few words, but I cannot say it, especially on a live stream, or the algorithms will get me and it'll take my channel down. And although I don't want to give into all that, I do still want to have a platform that I can get the message out to all of you. So why can't we question whether or not specific events took place? How is that hate speech? To me, that rule or guideline on YouTube's guidelines under hate speech, to me that should give you your answer right there for this whole thing, in my opinion. But I know it's not that simple. But if they're literally telling you what you can and cannot say about something, then why is that? It's got to mean something. I should be able to come out here on, YouTube and say, I don't think this happened, or I don't think this happened to so and so. Why can't I say that? Because that's my opinion. Am I being disrespectful by saying that? I don't think so. I'm allowed to question or ask those questions because of the holes and the inconsistencies in the narrative. But if you want to have a channel on this platform, you're not allowed to say that, or you're not allowed to question that. You can't say, I think that, so and so might not actually be who they say they are, or why not? Betty says hello. Oh, and then another thing that I brought up on Miss Mensa's live stream is the smart guy. I'm not going to say his last name. The smart guy that's going around and going from channel to channel to channel after he was just heard on a leaked footage or audio of the prison phone calls. Why is this guy or person with 30 something years of experience going from social media, from channel to channel, and discussing the case and saying how he still thinks that the investigation is open because he wants to give everybody false hope. He wants to get people to think that there's, again, an investigation going on and someone might actually be charged other than Chris, and the accomplices are going to, get what they deserve. So it just gives people false hope, but it also gets people talking about the case again, which also distracts, which also makes money. Like, in my opinion, I don't see an actual, real, like, clinical psychologist or whatever he is, or private investigator who's legit in his profession going around social media and talking about a case that has a lot of controversy with it and spewing out saying that, oh, I think that they're still investigating it. And it's so easy to fabricate and manipulate things these days. So just because we hear the Zoom call or prison phone calls of Mark and Chris and Anna or whatever, like, it doesn't mean that they're really where they say they are, or it doesn't really mean, like, it's just a phone conversation. You know how easy that is to fabricate, but people believe it. People just believe that because they hear of a phone conversation and because someone told them that it's Chris Watts talking from his prison cell or whatever, from the prison, that makes it true. But it just doesn't. It doesn't make it true at all. And you know how easy it would be for the powers that be to make it look like Chris and his family are talking from from jail or a prison. You know how much, like, power they have, and how they can do anything. They can make up an entire person on the internet. They can get rid of an entire person on the information on the internet. And the fact that a lot of these events are planned like years in advance, those phone conversations could be pre-recorded months, years in advance, for all we know. Especially when there's no video of them. They're probably most likely not, but I'm just making a point. Even if you have, body cam or anything, video with a timestamp on it. Do you know how easy it is to put a timestamp on a video with just, a $2.99 video editing app on your phone? It's easy. And we can keep trying to solve this case and forever and ever and ever, but it's never going to happen. And we can nitpick and we can, dive down rabbit holes and read the discovery over and over and over again and go through it with a, fine tooth comb, but you can't solve a case with only half the evidence, and we don't even know if that evidence that they gave us is factual, which I don't think it is. It's a story. They're portraying a story to us. Or call it a show. It's a Chris Watts show, and we all got front row seats to watch it. And again, I know that's not what everybody wants to hear. They want to hear that justice is going to be served, and Kessinger is going to have to do a polygraph test again, and she's going to be investigated, and there's going to be a trial. But there's not. Their narrative is done, and I'm actually surprised that they're still going on with this freak show. But again, as long as people are believing it, they're going to keep putting out this information in this just dog and pony show. Hey, Ginger. And, there's all these other theories out there, um, uh, you name it. But then the minute that, I try to even say one thing about my theory, it's, how dare you? Oh my God, I can't believe you even think, say such a thing. Like, why is that? I can accuse people of being accomplices to the murder, like, left and right, and not have a finger pointed at or shamed. But the minute I bring up my theory, it's, oh my God, I just, like, are you, like, kind of sick person, are you? Like, so that's how these, the psychological aspect of these events work, and the term conspiracy theorist. So for the people that do speak out and speak up, they're ridiculed and called crazy and a terrible person. And for the ones who do know what's going on or do see what's going on, they're too scared to speak up for the same reason. I mean, like, if you want, I could sit here and I could pull up the discovery and we could start from page 1, but it's not going to, it's not going to get us anywhere. And I'm not going to just, with all the new people following the case, it's bringing in other channel creators' views because people want to learn about the case, but that's not what I'm here for. Like, I'm not going to start back from square one because there is no square one. Like, that. I want to concentrate on showing what's actually going on than going through that discovery all over again, knowing that there's nothing there to find. There's nothing. I believe, Ms. Spencer, that that's a good question, but I do believe that all the main, like, the key players, yes, that they are. I can't repeat your question. You're asking great questions. I just can't repeat them. So I'm just going to answer them. And nothing makes sense in this case because it's not supposed to. That's why they leave out so much information. That's why they only show us what they want to show us. And yet, with so much missing information from everything still seems to fall right into play, right? Just like a storyline. Like I said the other day, you know, uh, husband and wife get married, have kids, start to have marital problems, um, and then wife goes away to visit family for 6 weeks. Um, coworker comes in, meets husband. They start an affair conveniently for 6 weeks when the wife goes out of town. And then right when the wife comes back into town, boom, like everybody's dead. I mean, like it's just too like storyline perfect. Everything just seems to be so convenient, just fall right into play. And I, brought this up before with the with another tragic event that happened in Las Vegas. Girlfriend of shooter should have been interrogated, should have been investigated uh, for different reasons, was never investigated, fell off the face of the earth. Nobody, no enemies, no ex boyfriends, ex husbands, uh, neighbors, you name it. Nobody came out and claimed to have known this woman, not even for their 15 minutes of fame. Fell off the face of the earth, just like Kessinger. Nobody's come out and claimed they've known to know her that's been able to prove it. No ex boyfriends, enemies. We know she's not, the all, happy sunshine and nice person. So um, it's hard to believe that no enemies will come out and say, I know her. Should have been investigated. Wasn't. She was treated like a victim. Gone. Fallen off the face of the earth. That's what happens. And with the Vegas event, there's still to this day people trying to solve and figure out what happened with that event. There's still filing FOIA requests and being denied. And that happened before this case. Again, same patterns, same characteristics, same codes, breadcrumbs, numerology, symbolism, occult, you name it. But that being said, it is dinner time for me and I'm hungry. So okay, so yeah, so sorry about that. I'm gonna go now. Thank you all for being here, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you, moderators. Have a good night, everybody.